Hello everyone, I'm Leo, and in this video we'll be comparing the HeadRush Amp Cloner versus the ToneX Profiles. I think it's gonna be a super interesting video. In fact, as always, we will use a pretty scientific approach in order to have some numbers to support our research for the best tone. And these tests require me a lot of time, therefore please subscribe and ring the bell to help me to make more videos like this. Let's start! Let me now share the tests I have done. First of all, I have profiled a Soldano SLO100 coupled with a creamback speaker and mic'd with an SM57. For the ToneX, I have done the profiling procedure using the maximum quality possible, where for the HeadRush there is no choice. I mean, there is just one unique procedure and we cannot choose the quality of the profile itself. Furthermore, I'm using the plugin version of both the ToneX and the HeadRush Cloner. So here we are testing the pure profiling process power, I would say. I mean, when you compare the profiles inside amp modeling pedalboards, the null test can be influenced by the quality of the converters of the units, etc. With the today tests, as we are using profiles inside our DAW and we are not running our signal into amp modeling pedalboards, we can judge the pure power of the profiling procedure of ToneX and HeadRush, which is interesting in my opinion. The first test is gonna be related to how the units manage the dynamic range and the note envelope versus the real deal. Then we will leave space to the numbers with the null tests. So let's start with the first test about the dynamic range and note envelope done using some DI tracks pre-recorded in my DAW and sent to each plugin and obviously the real amp. Well, what do you think? Have you heard any difference? Please let me know in the comment section below. And now let's move to the numeric part of this video. Of course, we are gonna rely on the null test, which is based on the concept that if you play a sound and its phase inverted counterpart, you obtain silence. Therefore, if we need to compare two sounds, we can play them at the same time with one of them phase inverted, and the lower the resulting LUFS is, the more the sounds are equal each to the other. I would not enter into further details, and if you want more info you can check out my other video comparisons where I have explained the null test more deeply. Of course, the tracks are all matched in terms of LUFS and aligned at the sample point level. Now let's hear the real Soldano and the ToneX plugin together with the ToneX phase inverted. As I said, the lower is the volume, the higher the fidelity of the profile is. I measured the resulting volume in integrated LUFS, which value is minus 38.1. Let's now do the same test with the real Soldano and the HeadRush Cloner phase inverted. The resulting LUFS is minus 30.4. Therefore, we can say that the ToneX has the higher fidelity, actually with a pretty big difference versus the HeadRush Cloner. The difference is around 7.7 LUFS, or about 20%. And actually, if we check out the equalization curves plugin versus real amp, the differences are pretty evident in my opinion. Cool, isn't it? As I said, to make this type of comparisons, I have aligned perfectly the tracks at the sample point level, and I have set all the tracks at the same LUFS. I mean, the tracks are matched in terms of volume. Guys, this test required a lot of time, so please do me a favor, like, subscribe and share. It's free and it means a lot to me. Now, the ToneX pedal of course performs worse compared to the plugin counterpart, as the resulting LUFS real Soldano versus ToneX pedal is around 34.9. In fact, as expected, the real pedal has to do some more audio manipulations versus the plugin, for instance with ADA conversions. Therefore, it is to be expected that also the HeadRush Flex or Core perform a bit worse compared to the plugin. But actually, even if they performed similarly to the plugin, they would still perform worse than the ToneX pedal. In fact, let's check out the numbers in the metrics where I have put together the measurements I have done. As you can see, even if the HeadRush Flex or Prime or Core performed as the plugin counterpart, which is impossible in my opinion, they would perform worse than the ToneX pedal. Let's now jump to my 2 cent section of this video with some final considerations. Final considerations here, and please notice that I purchased both the ToneX software and the HeadRush Cloner with my own money, and this video is neither sponsored nor paid. I'm making these videos purely for the joy of sharing with you the results and because experimenting with these units and the plugins is genuinely fun. The first consideration that comes to my mind is that the profiling procedures of the two units are pretty different. The HeadRush one is very similar to the Kemper procedure and it is really fast in the training steps. If any training is happening, as I don't know if artificial intelligence and neural networks are actually used in the Amp Cloner. On the other hand, the ToneX is more similar to the NAM procedure, and the neural network training steps take a lot longer compared to the Cloner, especially when we use the top quality profiling procedure of the ToneX. Furthermore, the cloner does not have a refining process, where the ToneX refines the profiles with some riffs. Therefore, the ToneX procedure is, how to say, a bit richer, and therefore a quality difference should actually be expected. On the other hand, the HeadRush procedure has some more options, as you can set the EQ of the real amp while profiling, and you have the super clone functionalities. For my use case, I prefer to have more accurate profiles than more options, like the super clone, but of course this is a matter of preferences and personal choices. Nonetheless, in the null test, the ToneX plugin performs better. Now, I don't have the core, the prime or the flex, but I'm pretty sure that the Pedalboards cannot perform better than their plugin counterpart. For instance, the ToneX pedal performs worse compared to the plugin, as when you use the pedalboard or the pedal, you actually go through some ADA conversion, then there are typically resistors, capacitors, etc. This means that also the HeadRush pedalboards should perform a bit worse than their plugin counterpart. But even if we assume that the units perform exactly as the plugin, still we have worse values compared to the ToneX pedal. I mean, the ToneX pedal is expected to perform better than any of the HeadRush pedalboard, as HeadRush pedalboard cannot perform better than their plugin counterpart. But now please let me know your precious and valuable opinions in the comment section below. We have now reached the end of this video. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did it, please subscribe to my channel, ring the notification bell and leave a thumb up, as it would be of a great help. If you're interested in my IRs or in my camper or ToneX profiles, you can check out the link in the card above or description below, where there is also a link to a playlist of songs of mine or to my new EP, Art, Love, Freedom. Thank you so much for watching and see you soon. Bye bye.